Hello everybody, this is CholeraSC bringing you the last matchup in the round of 8 of the World Cyber Games Korean qualifiers, and this is Stork versus ForGG, a battle between an A-class Protoss in Stork and an S-class Terran, a newly minted super-class Terran battlecruiser in ForGG. ForGG 63% against Protoss, and Stork 63% against Terran. So we're looking for an exciting matchup here. Despite, people who've said Stork is, the yellow of the Protoss race, he's always second place. I think he's always a threat. He's always waiting in the wings, and should the top pros, should the S-class players slip up, he can easily dominate them. And he's a nice guy too. He makes fun of himself when he loses. He had this whole music video about how after he lost, I think the OSL title. He didn't lose the title, but he came in second place. He made this whole music video doing karaoke, just singing about how he's a dinosaur-Toss who always gets second place, and it's just, that's nice. It's nice that he makes fun of himself. We have here ForGG, the reigning MSL champion, of course, in teal at the 1 o'clock position, and we have Stork, I believe, in red at the 7 o'clock position. Not sure exactly. Yeah, red at the 7 o'clock position. So this map is on Blue Storm. I'd say Blue Storm, the revised version, is pretty even between these two races, although I think there's a slight advantage to Protoss. Looks like 2 SCVs coming out for ForGG, so interesting enough. No, okay, so only going for the supply depot and the probe block, actually. And we've been seeing a lot of Terran players do that on Blue Storm, fill that little choke point, and I think it is pretty smart, although it leaves them a little bit vulnerable to a cheese like Much did against Flash, although Flash did an internal scout anyway, so he found it. But the probe block mainly is to keep the probe out of the base long enough for the Terran player to pick up the gas, hopefully, because Protoss, of course, have been going for lots and lots of gas steals on Blue Storm. It is relatively easy to get that gas steal down. Looks like ForGG going for a rather standard opening. We'll see if Stork decides to go for a fast expand. Actually, he is going to be going for that fast expand because I don't see anything next to that pylon. He's going for the 14 Nexus. Actually, it looks like a 12 Nexus perhaps right now. But Stork going for the fast expand in this map, and I think a lot of Protoss players like doing this, but I think 14 Nexus honestly is overrated. In my opinion, I think Terrans have become very, very good at dealing with it. They definitely know when to switch tech patterns. Once they scout that, they generally go for either a fast expand of their own, which doesn't leave them that far behind, to be honest, or they go for a fast rush, which is usually, not always, but usually devastating to the Protoss player. Especially on Blue Storm, where your tanks can shell that natural expansion from outside of the little gap. And somebody was saying that they couldn't do that, but actually, in the last game I saw, they can still do that on Blue Storm. So it is still a problem, and Stork returning the favor, blocking that low choke, so ForGG takes a little bit longer to scout around. ForGG came closest to being beaten, actually, by a Protoss player on the way of becoming the MSL champion. He almost lost to Cal in an exciting 3-2 series. ForGG going for the fast expand himself. Looks like without scouting, he is going to just assume that his build is safe enough. The fact that he pulled off gas, of course, means that he will be going for that second command center, probably inside of his base, probably going to float it over, so fairly standard openings from both players. Stork taking a tiny bit of an economic edge by going for the fast Nexus, and that's alright though. That's alright for ForGG. ForGG, of course, knows how to deal with this kind of stuff. Stork now, ForGG now getting a look into Stork's base. And by the way, I do have more of an elaboration of my story of the Parasite and Marine that I mentioned in another video. This is my short story idea for, I don't know, a piece of fan fiction I just came up with one night, and actually I couldn't fall asleep yesterday, so I was thinking about elaborating it. So basically there's this outpost, and by the way, Cybernetics Core going up for Stork's command center, going up for ForGG. Basically the story starts out with a Terran outpost, a bunker, and just a couple Marines and a medic or two in the front, right in the front, and preparing for a major battle between Terran versus Zerg. In fact, the Terran players are setting up for, not the Terran players, but the Terran soldiers are setting up for an ambush of the Zerg forces, which are nearby. This Terran outpost is meant basically to just lure the Zerg into a valley which has tanks on both sides and Goliaths and all sorts of forces, but all they're supposed to do is stand there, get attacked, shoot a few shots, and then retreat and hopefully lure the Zerg into it before the Overmind can stop them. But anyway, so now we're seeing a Vulture managing to sneak into Stork's base. Stork taking some economic disruption here. Stork losing a probe, and By the way, we saw Stork place a proxy pylon at the 12 o'clock position. Stork could be going for a proxy robotics facility there. In fact, I think that's what he's going to be doing. This is tough telling my story and casting at the same time, so I think I'm just going to cast for now and wait for another big lull. ForGG doing an excellent harass on Stork, killing 3 probes, I think, or two or three probes, getting a complete scout, and ForGG finishing his command center. Stork does have that probe in the corner of ForGG's base, and he has that pylon. I wonder if Stork's going to actually do anything with the pylon there. Stork's probe now getting taken out, and Stork with, I believe, just 1 Dragoon. He's going for another expand. Will Stork actually go for a double expand at this point? That is, I think, very risky, and looks like he is going to be going for a double expand. Wow. I mean, he knows that ForGG has gone for a fast expand of his own, but I think this is very audacious, and I'm not sure how this is going to work out for Stork. If he manages to hold off ForGG for the next few minutes, he will have a decisive advantage, of course. He does have that cybernetics core spinning, and he's building that robotics facility inside his base, so that pylon is just hanging out there, perhaps looking for a dropship or some kind of strange build over there, but it looks like Stork is not going to take the option of building something there, building that robotics facility inside his base. We'll see if he decides to go for fast observers or for fast reavers, and ForGG has his defenses up pretty well here. Stork getting that Nexus, and no second gas yet for Stork, so just playing a very strong economy game, trying to get this economy up on Blue Storm. And ForGG really could push out right now, actually. ForGG, of course, the problem with the fast command center build is that you lack scanning for quite a while, and you also lack detection. Although we do see the engineering bay. Generally, you're forced to go engineering bay pretty early, and it can be pretty late because you need that engineering bay to protect yourself against DT drops and Reaver drops. But the problem is you just don't have that scanner early, so you just can't tell exactly what the Protoss player is doing. Especially the Protoss sets up a contain to block the SCV scout. The problem with it is that you just can't get that scout early, and so you don't know when to push out. But looks like ForGG's decided he does have enough tanks to move out. 4 tanks, a pair of vultures moving out, and I think this is going to be pretty much enough to deal with these forces coming up for Stork. It will depend on the micro of both players. I think ForGG probably has siege mode up already, and he could do a lot of damage to Stork if he manages to get into that position where he can shell that that first expansion's Nexus, that little gap there, which is so devastating for Protoss players on this map. Stork also producing the robotics support bay, so he's going to be going for both observers and a Reaver here. This Reaver probably will be valuable for stopping this push, although we'll have to see how good his control is. ForGG also being very smart, building a forward turret there to help prevent detection from mines and prevent the drops from going over there. And Stork doing some excellent micro moving backwards. Wow, this is really good Dragoon micro there, picking off a lot of mines while keeping the majority of his Dragoons alive. Well, actually only losing 1 Dragoon. Still have a Doom going up for Stork also. And Stork moving a lot of probes, interesting enough. Perhaps a reverse probe transfer. Oh, I see what's going on. ForGG has found the location. This is what I meant, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I meant about that annoying little position that the Protoss really is vulnerable to. But Stork looks like he has an answer. He's got that shuttle out. So nice play by Stork. He's going to be dropping a Reaver, I think, right on top of those tanks. Will the Reaver come down? No, it looks like it's a Zealot. But ForGG smartly has built a turret inside of Stork's base, and that's going to pound away and prevent... Oh, man, shuttle going down for Stork. Stork in huge trouble here. Stork did not see that other forward turret there, and he's going to lose his Nexus. There's no two ways about this. He lost the Nexus, so Stork is hugely behind on Blue Storm, and looks like ForGG could steamroll through another player on the way to representing the Koreans in the World Cyber Games. And you know, in some ways he deserves it. He is an up-and-coming S-class player. I'd call him really the best for a second-best Terran player around there. And even getting the SCV Scout into the base, wow, that is